superstition.
What?
And I remember this body that was going round and round on this pole over fire.
That was a hog roast. Anyway, it's going to be very different today. There'll be songs and prayers, and then the vicar and me will talk about some memories we have of Uncle Bob, and then eventually the coffin goes behind a curtain so it can be cremated, which is the bit that can be a bit scary, but it is mostly symbolic.
Just as long as Uncle Bob's body isn't really in there.
No, it is in there.
What? What if he's not really dead yet?
Well, they check really carefully.
But I hear stories on the news all the time about doctors that think people are dead and then they're in their coffin and they just sit up and ask where their dinner is.
In Victorian times, they had a bell they'd give to dead people so they could ring it in their coffin if they weren't dead.
Now that's sensible.
Well, maybe they've done that. Anyway...
Well, have they or haven't they?
Karen...
What we need to check if he's alive or not is some sort of emergency device. Like, if he woke up and he was like, oh my God, I'm in a coffin, I'm gonna die, there's no food, and he got all claustrophobic, there could be a button saying, ejector coffin.
An ejector coffin?
So if he pressed it, the coffin would shoot out the ground and land.
Well, how would...
But then, what if it hit someone? Then they'd be dead and then he'd be alive. Or he could get like a trained badger.
We're not going to need any of this.
The badger,
Ben,
and then the badger...
I swear, he won't need a bell or a badger.
What about an armadillo?
Or an ejector coffin, because he's no more. And that's sad. But we're past the sad bit, and today is a celebration, a happy celebration of his life. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for all your help there.
Well, you were doing such a good job. I just thought I'd let you roll.
I'm going to stick with this. Not forgetting the 14 happy years he spent with his loving partner, Bernard.
Can we take some cookies with us?
Karen, what are you wearing?
A dress.
Well, it's a bit bright for a funeral.
But it's a happy day. He said so.
Yes, it's a happy day where people usually wear black.
But black's not a happy colour. Black's the colour of beetles and school shoes and Miss Barrington's enormous eyebrows.
Well, it's usually seen as a sign of respect to wear black at a funeral. And Auntie Dorothy, his sort of widow, she's quite traditional.
But Uncle Bob said that he liked this dress. He said, Karen, that's a very nice dress.
You could wear that really cool black top you got at Bella's pirate party.
She can't.
That's quite smart.
It's got a skull and crossbones on the back.
I'm wearing this dress.
She can't wear that dress. It's a funeral. It's meant to be sad.
With a strong element of celebration. Celebration in black. Happy black celebration.
Oh, Sue. Are you all right? No, it's okay. I've not been crying. I've just got some of the deep heat I was rubbing into Pete's neck in my eye. I better go and... So, have you gone back to the headmaster about your job?
Hello, Mum. How are you? No, I haven't.
You made a mistake there. I tried to teach you when you were young. No one's indispensable.
No, you did. I remember you telling me that when you had my rabbit put down.
You haven't changed it, have you?
I'm just going to say, not forgetting the 14 happy years he spent with his loving partner, Bernard.
Are you? Only Tom was just saying he hopes no one brings up anything that demeans a solemn occasion.
Was he?
I think that's what he said. It was a bit slurred.
Oh, great.
And once I've said hello, Peter, I'll introduce you.
OK.
Is that the eulogy?
Yeah, I didn't actually write it, so if... actually, I've rewritten it a little.
Yes, how long is it?
Long?
2 minutes, 3 minutes?
Well, maybe 4 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes would be better. Yeah, but a bit behind. I'm sorry, Peter, but these days it's like everything else. Sell 'em cheap, stack 'em high.
Right.
The last lot were nearly 10 minutes over. The guy giving the eulogy kept sobbing, so it really spread.
Right, well, I'll try not to show any emotion.
Oh, and the organist made a right pig's ear of Lady Gaga's Let's Dance. He was used to the usual version, but they insisted on some Colby O'Donis remix. Anyway, not to worry. If you start running over, I'll give you the red light.
The red light?
3 flicks, on and off. But if you could cut a few lines, that'd be great.
Dorothy?
Don't worry, you'll be fine. It's not gonna happen to you today. God, you're smart.
Was Uncle Bob always gay? Even when he was married?
Well, yes, I think so. The house was always full of Judy Garland records.
It's a bit homophobic.
What, saying a gay man is more interested in a certain type of music or more interested in clothes? That's not homophobic, that's just true.
Yeah, Mum's right.
Ben, you know nothing about it.
Jeremy Clarkson wears cool clothes, and he's gay.
Jeremy Clarkson is not gay, you idiot.
Yeah, he is. He lives with 2 men.
Yeah, on TV. That's on TV.
Oh,
he has a
enough,
life
boys.
as...
Come on, look, we better go in.
Uncle Bernard.
Oh, hello, you two. Pretty dress, Karen.
See? I always liked Uncle Bob. Whenever I asked, he'd always show me his extra toe.
Yes, I like that about him, too.
Look, Mum, if you don't think about it, it won't happen.
Thanks a lot. Now you've made me think about it.
God, it's like the Spanish Inquisition. Everyone keeps asking me if I've added anything to this.
I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't.
What? But you said I'd...
Where we all may settle down in the care of our Lord. And now Peter is going to continue our celebration by sharing some memories of Bob with us.
So, what can you say about Bob? And he always stayed close to his brothers, Tom and Victor, and of course his sister Sandra. They were close, not only in the friendship they enjoyed, but also geographically. In fact, Bob joked that he could never get away from them because wherever he moved, they followed. Of course, what brought him to Woking was meeting Dorothy, who was not only a wife, but a friend for the dozen successful years they lived there. They say all good things have to come to an end, but that time was an incredibly important part of Bob's life. Not forgetting the 14 happy years Bob spent with his memories after his amicable separation from Dorothy. Anyhow, this isn't a mournful gay day. It's a day to celebrate and to... It's a form of grief. She isn't actually finding it funny. It's a nervous thing. It happened at her mother's funeral. Anyhow, that's about it. I'd just like to mention some of the other people who were important to Bob. Hetty, James, Justin, and Vera, and Bob's loving partner Bernard.
Thank you, Peter. Lovely tribute. And next we're going to the song today. A song that Bob chose himself. A song made famous by Judy Garland. Somewhere over the rainbow.
See?
He is definitely dead in there, isn't he? I don't call that much of a celebration, Mum. You were the only one that seemed happy.
Yes. That wasn't quite what I was aiming for.
Look, don't worry. Most people's abiding memory will be of Rufus's Tourette's during the final blessing.
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. Look, grief affects people in weird ways.
I'm really sorry. I just don't think I've ever really got over Mum, and it just seemed to stir up lots. Pete?
Hmm? Oh, sorry, I'm just texting Denzel to see if I've been replaced. Look, I know you hate working full-time, so if you want, I'll go and see the head, I'll eat humble pie, and I'll see if there's any chance of getting my job back.
No, sod it. Life's too short. And I'm glad you mentioned Bernard. Do you know?
So am I. All this poor Dorothy stuff. She was enough to turn anyone gay. No, Peter? Well done. I'm proud of you.
Bloody hell, grief really does affect people in weird ways.
Ben, there is no life after death.
This is how I think it works. If you live a bad life, like Hitler did, then you could come back as a crappy thing, like a wasp. But then,
a wasp?
If Hitler was a good wasp, then he could come back as the Archbishop of Canterbury.
So, the Archbishop of Canterbury used to be a wasp, and before that he was Hitler.
No, it's an example.
Well, examples
He could have been an alien. I don't know.
Oh, no. Karen's talking to Uncle Tom again.
Well, I know he's a bit hammered, but does it matter?
Yes. She's really got inside his head about Bob still being alive in the coffin.
How can anyone be a good wasp?
You know, doing good wasp things. Not stinging people, being nice to the Queen, being nice to other wasps. Yeah.
Oh, well, you've probably been killed loads of times in your past lives because you never shut up.
Good try. Under 4 minutes. We'd have finished in time if it hadn't been for that giggling fit.
Well, she couldn't help herself.
I thought it was nice that you mentioned Bernard.
Oh, thank you. So did you know Bob and Bernard?
Yes, I did. In fact, I knew Bob in Woking before I met Bernard.
Oh, so are you a friend of Dorothy? And Bob. Bob and Dorothy as a couple. Thank you very much for a lovely service. I've got to mingle. Oh, hi, Bernard. Did you, like how I mentioned you?
I wish you hadn't. I specifically asked Victor not to. I prefer to stay out of the limelight.
Yes! First place! New world record!